June 10, 2020, and welcome to Legal Basis, where we examine the country's most pressing legal issues with the help of our Filipino lawyers. I am Shari Oliquino, and tonight we talk about the law.
On June 2, the Department of Foreign Affairs announced the suspension of its earlier decision to terminate its Visiting Forces Agreement or VFA with the United States. The suspension came 4 months after the country officially pulled out from the VFA following President Rodrigo Duterte's tirade against the United States. The Duterte administration's wavering decision on the VFA has raised alarm among Filipino experts, especially in the light of China's aggression over the West Philippine Sea. Law experts such as the retired Supreme Court Justice Antonio Carpio has noted earlier that the decision to terminate the VFA will give China the upper hand over the West Philippine Sea. To recall, the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague, Netherlands in 2016 ruled in favor of the Philippines in its case against China over the West Philippine Sea.
2 days before the celebration of the Philippine Independence Day, kaya ngayong gabi, pag-uusapan natin ang ilan sa pinakamainit na issue na may kinalaman sa ating pambansang soberanya at ang ugnayan ng Pilipinas sa mga malalaking bansa katulad na lamang ng China at ng Estados Unidos. Joining us live in today's episode of Legal Basis is a Filipino lawyer, an educator, and an expert in public international law. He is also the former dean of the Atty School of Government. Walang iba kundi si Dean Antonio La Viña. Good evening, Dean Tony, and welcome po sa Legal Basis.
Good evening, Shari. Glad to be here. Glad to help your audience to understand itong mga bagay na nangyayari sa Pilipinas, lalo na sa larangan ng international relations natin sa China at sa Amerika.
All right. First things first, Dean Tony, it is explicitly stated in the agreement, in the Visiting Forces Agreement, that one main objective is to strengthen international and regional security, which is why we allow the presence of the U.S. military personnel in the country. Now, the VFA has been in effect for more than 2 decades now. Do you think it was able to serve its purpose, which is to strengthen the country's national defense?
Mix yung sagot ko dyan. Siyempre, makita mo naman, nobody has invaded us, so yes, from that point of view. But from the point of view naman of being able to defend some of our territory in the West Philippine Sea, having the VFA did not really help with that, diba? So I would say mix. I think ang problema is we relied too much on the VFA and not too much on our own selves, and particularly sa sarili nating sa modernization ng ating military.
All right. Now, Dean Tony, last February lang po nag-pull out officially ang government, ang Philippine government from the VFA following President Duterte's tirade against the U.S. government. What do you think about this move, most especially na ongoing yung territorial dispute in the West Philippine Sea?
Although ang update dyan, di ba, is that sinuspend nila yung pag-terminate. Sinuspend na ni Pangulo na so parang for now patuloy muna yung VFA. Ako actually I don't want us to be side with China or US with anyone or to depend on our security with anyone. Importante yung sariling sikap, sariling security na sinesecure natin. But ang problema lang is we did not take steps. For me, yung Visiting Forces Agreement, parang intermediate lang step yan to be independent, di ba? To be independent in our security, to take care of our own security. But walang nangyari. So, di ba, pagtanggalin mo na lang siya bigla, then parang nag-unilateral surrender ka na. Yun ang aking problema. So, in my view is, pwede sanang ipanatili mo ng VFA, but only for a few years. Diba? Yung siguro 5 years, sabihin natin sa mga Amerikano, okay, you have 5 years. In that 5 years, we want to be self-secure, diba? And we'll aim to be self-secure. After 5 years, you have to look for somebody else, diba? For your forces. So ganun ang position ko na eventually dapat i-terminate ang BFA, but not now because wala tayong papalit sa VFA right now. And we will make ourselves vulnerable, particularly to China, if we don't, diba, if we do that.
All right. So you think, Dean Tony, that without the VFA, it will be extra, what do you call this, mas magiging mahirap rather sa ating military force to actually defend our territory.
Wala
In
silang
this case, the
capacity.
West Philippines.
To be honest, wala silang capacity ngayon. Kasi hindi natin sinubukan i-build yung capacity or kulang yung pag-build natin ng capacity. Problema kasi ng ating military, sa tingin ko, masyado silang inner-looking. Tinitingnan nila yung kalaban nila, mortal, yung NPA, kalaban nila, yung dati, yung MLF, ngayon hindi, nabuti na lang hindi ngayon, di ba? They look at the internal enemies too much. Dapat external talaga yung dapat ang defense nila. For external defense.
Alright.
But they haven't done that. They haven't done the homework to be independently secure.
Okay. Now, Dean, I'm actually curious about your thoughts on this one. So even during the previous administration, marami nang nag-criticize sa Visiting Forces Agreement. In fact, some groups believe that the VFA only perpetuates human rights violations. And there is an interesting statement from Senator Win Gatchalian only recently. According to him, marapat na i-review ang VFA at gawing itong mas pro-Filipino because they see it as an unequal agreement between the Philippines and the United States. So, what do you think about this?
That's true, no? I mean, tingnan mo yung mga nare-rape, di ba? O pinapatay ng mga Pilipino. Si Laude ba, Jennifer Laude yung last na nangyari yun. So that's true, no? I mean, from the very beginning yan, di ba? You allow them to come here, silang bisita, pero pag ginawa silang masama, hindi natin sila pwedeng i-hold accountable here, di ba? Sana, if they can show na they hold their people accountable, but they don't hold their people accountable. Pinapauwi nila, maaaring i-discharge nila, pero pinapauwi din nila, hindi nila pinafile ng charges, no? So sa tingin ko, ano yun, talagang unequal. As I said, I would rather na mawala ang DFA, pero kailangan may time frame. Yun lang ayaw ko na walang timeline. Kailangan may timeline para makapaghanda tayo. Para yung ano,
Kumbaga gradual.
Para yung couple, diba? Yung lalaki o babae na mag-aasawa, diba? Hindi ka naman basta-basta ako, mag-asawa na ako, 16 years old pa ako, diba? Or get 18 or 19. Kailangan nakaplano. Diba? You have to plan the separation.
Okay. A while ago, pinag-usapan po natin.
Ano po?
Yes, Dean. Okay. A while ago, we've talked about briefly yung West Philippine Sea. Now, in 2016, the Permanent Court of Arbitration ruled in favor of the Philippines. So we now have the legal rights over the West Philippine Sea. Now, my question is, can you briefly tell us what are the legal basis behind the fact that the Philippines actually has the legal rights over this territory?
Well, ang basic lang talaga dyan, di ba, is yung UNCLOS, no? Yung United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. Basic yan na yan ang China accepted that, the Philippines accepted that. Dun sa The Hague decision sa Permanent Court of Arbitration, yun ang naging basis kasi hindi pinag-usapan din ownership, no? Pinag-usapan dun legal rights under the convention. And very clear naman na under the convention na yung West Philippine Sea is either Philippine territory or Philippine exclusive economic zone.
All right. Kanina po nabanggit ninyo that the VFA wasn't really utilized, kumbaga, in defense of the Philippines sa usapin ng West Philippine Sea. Now, Dean Tony, ngayon na yung UNCLOS na tinatawag natin, it's actually mas legal siya and mas bahagi siya ng diplomatic relations ng Pilipinas. So do you think there are other ways for us to assert our right to the West Philippine Sea aside doon sa legal na proseso or filing charges in an international court against China?
Well, yes, paggamit ng resources, di ba, ng West Philippine Sea, that's the most important action, di ba? But you can only do that kung may backup ka na military. Kasi if you're fisherman, walang suporta galing sa military nyo, di ba? may mahirapan kayo. If China drives you out, di ba? If China is there, paano mo mapipilit yon?
Okay. Actually, right now po kasi, yung China, hindi siya naniniwala. Kumbaga, hindi niya nire-recognize yung naging desisyon ng international court with regards to the West Philippine Sea. And in fact, nagtatayo siya ngayon ng mga illegal infrastructures in the territory. According to Foreign Affairs Secretary Albert Del Rosario, the Philippines could take China's assets as payment for the damages it has brought doon sa island dahil nga sa pagbubuo nito ng mga illegal infrastructures rather. So, Dean Tony, do you think that we can do that? We can get China's assets in payment of them building structures in the territory.
Let's see, sister. Diba? Kung wala ka namang military, how can you do that? Diba? Even kung may military kayo, you shouldn't just do that kasi baka maggera kayo. We cannot go to war. Walang option yun. Hindi yun option. Kahit malakas tayo, kahit kalab, that's not an option. We have renounced war as an instrument of national policy. So, kailangan lahat yan negotiation. There's to be negotiation.
Okay. Now, Dean, you are an expert in constitutional and public international law. Now, how do you think the Philippines strengthen its foreign relations without being taken advantage of bigger countries such as the United States and China? Kasi ngayon, we have the Visiting Force Agreement, but at the same time, meron tayong territorial dispute with China. And ngayon, kumbaga panik-panaog si President Duterte when it comes to the VFA, ganun din siya with his relationship with China. So do you think, paano kaya yung magiging posisyon ng Pilipinas ngayon when it comes to having a strengthened foreign relations? Kumbaga, kaya yun na magkaroon tayo ng isang matibay na foreign relations nang hindi tayo, kumbaga, naaabuso ng mga malalaking bansa?
Yes. In fact, that's what we said in the Constitution. There are countries that have been able to do that. I mean, Costa Rica is a good example of that. Diba? Kayang-kaya yun. Pero syempre may mga ingredients for that. Number one, doon, kailangan may magaling kang Department of Foreign Affairs, magaling kang diplomats. No doubt yung mga diplomats natin magagaling as individuals. Pero problema nila, wala silang mga specialization, no? And we have to build the capacity for that. Pero ang point ko dito, lahat yan negotiation. Hindi natin kayang i-insist yung gusto natin through force because kahit na mag-modernize tayo ng military, it will not be enough to do what has to be done.
Okay. Dean Tony, ngayon malapit na yung Independence Day, actually in just 2 days, no? I'm just curious, do you think nasa state tayo na malapit na talaga natin masabi na meron tayong soberanya ang bansa natin? Or do you think katulad ng mga binabanggit ko kanina, marami pang process? Can you elaborate more on that?
Yung elaborate on?
On the steps, no? Kung paano kaya makakamit ng Pilipinas yung tinatawag na national sovereignty.
Kailangan ang pinakamahalaga talaga dyan. Kailangan alam natin ano bang national interest natin, di ba? What is our national interest? What is it that can bring all of us together, di ba? Halimbawa sa West Philippine Sea, it's the resources that it gives to us, di ba? Yung kanyang kayamanan na binibigay sa atin. Dahil hindi tayo makapangyarihang bansa, very important yung knowledge, di ba? Yun ang, I have to say, that's the number one, our number one asset is our ability to know our legal rights and to pursue that. Kaya importante yung kaso. Napanalo natin yung kaso dahil dyan, di ba? But as I said, kailangan din tayo ng minimum ability for di ba? Ng ating armed forces for defense. To be able to accompany our fishermen, our business people that has to go to the West Philippine Sea. That's an important element also.
Alright.
I would say that's
Yun naman,
yung sinabi ko kanina, yung diplomats, yung capacity ng diplomats natin to negotiate. I will stress that again. It is only through negotiation that we can get what we want at the global level. Because we do not have arms. Diba? We do not have money. What we have is galing. Diba? Brilliance plus strategy. A strategic leadership. Diba? Halimbawa. We have the brains. Walang problema dyan. We have very good diplomats. Unfortunately, our president and previous presidents, this is not being about Duterte because I think Noynoy also and GMA and Arab. I think the president that really understood all of this, although I'm biased because I worked for him, was President Ramos. Naintindihan niya yung complex in international relations. That is the only way we can assert ourselves. Kasi wala tayong pera, wala tayong armas.
Alright. Sa moment na to, Dean Tony, we are going to entertain questions rather, from our viewers. So
Okay.
this one is from Alexa Yadao. Yung kanyang question is this: what has prevented us from developing an autonomous and credible defense posture or an independent foreign policy? Again, this is from Alexa Yadao. What has prevented us from developing an autonomous and credible defense posture or an independent foreign
Well,
policy?
number one is we have not been able to get our act together. Don't blame anyone else. Sarili nating kasalanan. We have not gotten our act together. We don't even know what national interest is, di ba? We debate that. There are people who actually like to have China take over some of our resources, no? So there's division, disunity. Until we are united, until we have a common understanding, useless yung pagsabi na paano tayo maging united, paano tayo magkaroon ng national sovereignty or independence, di ba? I think problema yan during the revolution, di ba, ng 1896. Nag-away yung away ni Bonifacio at ni Aguinaldo. So malalim ang ugat ng problema natin ng disunity, di ba? But that's number one. Don't blame other countries for it. But number two is dependence on other countries. Dependence particularly on the United States. Now ngayon may dependence naman tayo sa China, di ba? Which is, di ba, that dependence means you will never be independent. Di ba? When you're dependent on another country for economic, for political, for military, that means you will never be truly independent.
All right. Dean Tony, this one I think is a very, very important question. This is from Micah De Leon. And she said, how can we protect the rights and safety of our fishermen, especially those that can be affected by China's aggression?
Well, by negotiating and negotiating with the region, hindi lang with the bilateral kasi matatalo talaga sa China. Importante yan. And then, as I said kanina, while hindi tayo mananalo at hindi tayo makipaggera dapat sa China, we can build our armed forces in such a way na madedefend natin yung mga fishermen natin. Kasi that's just boat to boat. Hindi naman yan navy to navy or country versus country. Siyempre wala tayong laban noon, di ba? But may laban tayo kung boat is to boat.
Okay.
So China sends its navy to protect its fishermen. We should send our navy to protect our fishermen also.
Yeah, actually, I think, Dean Tony, kaugnay yung tanong na ito doon sa mga nakaraang cases kung saan naging vocal yung ilang mga mangingisda natin, no, regarding doon sa pagpapaalis sa kanila, pagpapatigil sa kanila sa paghahanap buhay. Now, there is another question. It's from Tracy Capule. Ang sabi niya, meron na ba talaga tayong independent foreign policy?
Yes and no. The yes part is generally naman in the last since 1986 sasabihin natin. Kasi sa Marcos talagang naka-connect yun sa Amerika until the last few months and then tinapon siya ng Amerika, no? But since then naman, meron namang, kasi nasa constitution siya, meron namang elements of an independent foreign policy. Like for example, we don't really vote with the US or China in many matters. No? We vote with other developing countries in many matters. We vote with ASEAN, for example. Halimbawa, yung ating international relation policy sa ASEAN, that's independent. Nobody's forced us to do that, di ba? So, kaya lang, on such a major thing as security, hindi tayo independent because of the VFA.
Okay. So hopefully yung mga viewers natin ay narinig yung mga sagot ni Dean Tony La Viña. As of the moment, maaari pa kayong magbigay ng inyong mga katanungan regarding nga dito sa Visiting Forces Agreement at sa West Philippine Sea. Now, we have a final question, Dean Tony. Ano-ano ngayon ang mga legal actions ng government at ng mga tao, yung mga legal actions that they can take rather, para isulong talaga ang pambansang soberanya?
Ako, I would not take legal action, di ba? I would take political action. Yun ang mahalaga. First step, we unite as a country. Diba? We find the common ground as a country. Paulit-ulit ko sinasabi yan, but yan ang pinaka-importante kasi. Until we are united, useless pag-uusapan yung Philippine sovereignty. So we have to do that. And then we have to be smart, as I said. Ano bang options natin? And then we have to modernize our military. So that all of that are political actions. I would not advise any legal action right now. Tapos na tayo sa China. Okay, panalo na tayo doon. We don't have to take any legal action anymore. Kasi yung nature naman ng mga cases na ganyan will depend on political pressure, di ba? So ang gagawin natin sa internationally, we make sure that all our allies, all our friends, all the countries we know side with us against China. Because we already have right on our side, the right decision on our side.
Alright. Dean Tony La Viña, maraming salamat po sa pagsama sa amin sa episode na ito ng Legal Basis. Meron po ba kayong mga huling mensahe para sa ating mga viewers before we end the program?
Especially dun sa mga bata sa inyo, di ba? The work of nation building never ends. No? I mean, and you have to be tough as well as compassionate. But I have to go back. You have to love your country. You have to love your fellow Filipinos, di ba? And you have to unite with everyone. A disunited country, di ba, will not be able to be independent unless we have a Team Philippines. I quote now Fidel Ramos, no, which is our best president, I think, certainly after Marcos. Yan ang palaging sinasabi ni President Ramos. Unite! Let's be Team Philippines. Sa barko tayo. Sa isang barko lang tayo, hindi pwedeng magkakahiwalay-hiwalay. Problema natin on basic things, as basic thing as China, as basic thing as West Philippine Sea, hindi tayo united.
Alright. Maraming salamat po, Dean Tony La Viña.
Thank you.
Tonight, we have learned more about the implications of the termination of the Visiting Forces Agreement, as well as some updates regarding the Philippine-China dispute over the West Philippine Sea. Narinig natin yung sentiments kanina ni Dean Tony La Viña. Kinakailangan natin ngayon ang unity bilang nag-iisang bansa para tuloy-tuloy na makamit ang pambansang soberanya. At sa mga issue katulad ng VFA at ng West Philippine Sea, kinakailangan tayong mga mamamayang Pilipino ay manatiling mapagmatsyag, lalo't-lalo na kinabukasan ng ating mga pamilya, ng ating mga anak. Future generations of Filipino people ang nakasalalay dito. Now, when it comes to the West Philippine Sea issue, he reminds us that we should continue asserting our rights doon sa ating sariling teritoryo. May it be through strengthening our national defense or intensifying our diplomatic relations with other countries. With that being said, maraming salamat po sa pagsama sa amin sa isa na namang episode ng Legal Basis at advance Happy Independence Day po sa ating lahat. Catch us live here on NYK's Facebook page every Wednesdays at 6 o'clock p.m. Once again, this has been Shari Oliquino for Legal Basis. Now you know.
Thank you.